My name is Professor Adetoji Suba, the Provost of the Best Center, and I shall be your moderator for today's session. The administrator will mute everybody apart from speakers. Lan will mute everybody. So you are most welcome to this afternoon's session. Best Center of the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry is established for capacity development for chambers of commerce movement and its members. We have also thrown our doors open to the general public. As an award-winning international institution, we operate a world-class learning organization for the development and improvement of entrepreneurship, technology, and vocational skills. Well, since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic and subsequent lockdown across the country, the Best Center had commenced its series of online presentations to educate our Chamber of Commerce members and the general public on issues relating to business, leadership, entrepreneurship, and accounting. And we've been doing this free of charge as a contribution to society. We have two presenters for today's session titled COVID-19, Running an SME Successfully. Our presenters are individuals that distinguish themselves in diverse sectors of the Nigerian economy and had ample experience as members of the Chamber of Commerce, both locally and nationally. Let me welcome and introduce our two eminent presenters, Mrs. Roselyn Obiageli-Nwosu and Dr. Johnson Somatina Anene. I'll just quickly do a short introduction of their profile. Roselyn Obiageli was a practicing lawyer. She was called to the Nigerian Bar in July 1981 after obtaining her LLB honors degree from prestigious Queen Mary College of the University of London in 1980. She's a fellow of diverse professional associations, including the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators UK and the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC. Mrs. Nwosu is a faculty member of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators. She's also a member of the faculty board of the ACCI Dispute Resolution Center. She's also a member of the faculty board of the Best Center of the Abuja Chamber of Commerce. Mrs. Nwosu is also a tutor for both arbitration and mediation courses at the Chartered Institute of Arbitration UK. She has held several positions at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where she currently serves as the Vice President, Women Development. You're welcome, Madam. We also have Dr. Johnson Somatina Anene. He holds several degrees, including a PhD in business management, a chartered estate surveyor and valuer, an experienced project manager, and a management consultant, as well as an investment advisor. Dr. Anene is a fellow of several professional associations, including the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, as well as the Institute of Management Consultants. He's a vice president at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and is also the chairman of the Abuja Trade Center. Dr. Anene is also the chairman of the Nasima Real Estate Trade Group. He's the MD CEO of the well-known Shelter Aid Group and is CEO of several companies. Our presenters will have 15 minutes each for their presentations. They will then take questions from our audience, and then they will have 10 minutes each to respond. Participants should please use the chat box to ask their questions. After this, we will have 10 minutes for any intervention from participants who will be allowed to speak for about 3 minutes each. Please be conscious of the allotted time. And after all this, the director of the Best Center will do a round of the questions. Participants kindly mute their microphones while any of the presenters in this session is speaking. Thank you very much. I will now call on Mrs. Wu to start our presentation. You are welcome, madam.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that introduction, beautiful introduction. Good afternoon, Prof. Good afternoon, Dr. Anene. And also I welcome our participants. As you are all aware, we are here to discuss a topic that is very important: running an SME successfully post-COVID-19. For me, it's a very important one because as Vice President, Women Development in ACCI, it's something that a lot of women can benefit from. And as you are well aware, many women run SMEs. Let me talk about the way it is organized, this presentation. It's in two parts. My mandate is simply to give an overview of the topics we are going to talk about, and then something like introduction. What are small and medium enterprises? Contributions of SMEs to the Nigerian economy, challenges faced by SMEs, emerging issues and opportunities, and then conclusion. And I have roughly 15 minutes to do this, so I have to be fast. Please, can you scroll to the introduction? For the introduction, I highlighted the requisites for running a successful SME. For anybody to start or think of running an SME, there are certain things that have to be in place. The first one, as we all know, is the access to finance. Without money, we can't do much. Then he or she needs to create a good business and marketing plan, have a clear vision of the business they want to, and the products to be sold, and to whom, very, very important. And in doing this, he must have a passion for what he wants to do. Passion drives everything we do in life. Is it your profession, whatever it is you want to do? If you're not passionate about it, you won't make much progress. Then it's very important to put together an efficient management team, and then also to have planned for good customer care. Also, while he's building the business, it's very, very important to start from day one, to start making a brand, looking for a strong brand identity for himself. The brand identity puts the proprietor above all the other competitors. Then along the line too, it's very important that he finds and belongs to a network of some other like-minded business people whom he can share experiences with, and also compare notes, very, very important, and share best practices. Next slide, please. I've already explained that my work here is to give an overview of what we are going to do. I've already talked about that. Here, we also have to take note of the extra issues that COVID-19 has brought to our economic place in Nigeria, the economy of Nigeria, and the way it is impacting SMEs. Next slide, please. I'm talking about, the next slide talks about what are SMEs. SMEs simply mean small and medium enterprises. We know that they are independent firms that are on their own, but the hallmark of them is that the description used for them talks about the number of people, the number of employees they have, and also the asset base. This one can be seen in the national policy on enterprises. SMEs as those that employ the small ones. The small enterprises are the ones that employ between 10 and 49 workers and have an asset base of from 5 million to less than 50 million, while the medium ones are the ones that employ 50 to 199 workers and have an asset base of less than between 50 million and less than 500 million. Mind you, these assets we're talking about exclude both building and land. And it's not always the same in all over the country. Each country has its own perimeter. Some countries even go as far as saying up to 300 workers, but in Nigeria, our limit for medium is 199. Next, I'll talk about the contributions of SMEs to the Nigerian economy. SMEs are very, very important to the economy because from the studies carried out by International Finance Corporation, Nigerian companies are made up of 96% of SMEs, and that is a huge figure, meaning that the remaining 4% are bigger companies. But most SMEs are run, between families, friends, and what have you. Even some construction companies and transport companies that are slightly big, but not as big as the ones in the 4%. SMEs are the backbone of the economy. They generate 84% of employment, with the resultant economic empowerment of people, and also contribute 48% of the national GDP. As we all know, SMEs in Nigeria are supervised by SMEDAN, and they have a lot of benefits that they bring to the table in the Nigerian economy. The provision of a variety of goods and services, creation of job opportunities, and the market for different skills. They aid in the development of local technology, mobilization and utilization of domestic savings, and stimulation of indigenous entrepreneurship, thereby motivating the development of innovative solutions to local problems. I also want to mention briefly some of the challenges faced by SMEs. They include, in my first slide, I talked about the things that somebody has to put together in order to have a successful outing as an SME proprietor. The challenges are lack of those things, namely lack of finance, lack of infrastructure facilities, poor management team, lack of strategic planning, poor personnel management, and poor information flowing, amongst others. The COVID-19 has also impacted on our economy, and especially on SMEs and other businesses. It constitutes twin threats to lives and livelihood. Today's issues include working from home. Today's normal, so to say, what we call today's normal, includes working from home as a result of the measures of total lockdown, which, thank God, is gradually being lifted up. This has put a lot of companies in a bad situation. It has led mainly to disruption of existing value chains of supply on which SMEs thrive. Because of the lockdowns, goods cannot be moved from one country to the other. We all know that. And for Nigeria in particular, it's a bad situation in that for last year, 2019, 25% of the total imports we have in Nigeria came from China. And as we all know the story of China, that this COVID started from China before it spread all over the world. But all the countries in the world are in the same category. We are all having disruption in the supply chain. And this is very, very bad for the SMEs. Next slide, please. We continue with the challenges faced by SMEs. And in this one, we are talking about SMEs that engage in export-oriented trades. These ones are the ones that are also badly affected because right now goods are not going out and they're not coming in. Cargoes are not moving between countries. So as a result of that, they can neither bring in goods or even sell the ones that they have already. You also have some SMEs that are having issues because there's a low demand for their goods. Those that even have the goods. Right now, people are talking about survival. Most families are just getting by and they're focusing on buying food and drugs for themselves and maybe a few other necessities. And this is to be expected in a pandemic as bad as the one we are facing right now. We're talking survival here. It's only after survival that we talk about leisure goods and all that. In any case, people are not going out much, so we don't even need those goods right now. We also have some SMEs that have even put their hands into the funds that they have because they could not reinvest due to the situation in the country. A lot of them, and in order to survive, some of them have even utilized some of the monies that they were supposed to reinvest in their businesses to buy some personal things that they needed during this time. And it is so bad that some of them may even need, they are not in a position to start with, they are not in a position to pay back the bank loans they have taken. And some have even gone down more because they even need some extra loan or some extra funding in order to come up again one more time. Next slide, please. Can I have the next slide? This slide is so important. It's talking about the issues that have come up and opportunities. You know, as the saying goes, every coin has two sides to it. Every challenge one has in life, the opposite of it is an opportunity. All you have to do is to look very well and you will see the opportunity. There are emerging issues that we have to pay, these corporators need to pay adequate attention to. There are also opportunities that they can take from this experience. The first issue here is the heightened concern for safety, health, and security. We all know right now, and everybody's a suspect. When I go to a public place, I'm always careful about the person I'm standing near to because you don't know where the person is coming from. The same way you're watching their movement, same way they're watching your own movement. So there's heightened concern for safety. This is understandable. And that's my advice to SMEs as the country, you know, start opening up and businesses start opening up, which is happening already, you know, gradually. The first thing you will do is to ensure that you comply with all the instructions given by NSTC in respect of safety and health issues. Ensure that before somebody comes into your office, you have a thermometer to check the temperature, make sure that it's not above the prescribed you know, temperature. I think it's 37.5. Then you have sanitizers for them to clean up their hands. And then when they eventually enter your shop or wherever you're doing your business, ensure that you enforce this, you know, social distancing so that they will, you know, people will feel safe and comfortable enough to come back. Because if they feel threatened, I can assure you that next time they will not come. Then the next thing we have here, I had mentioned it earlier, the massive disruption of supply chains. In Nigeria, I have mentioned the challenges we have for those that import goods from China, which makes up 25% of the total raw materials, totaling over 43 trillion. For those ones, and even the other ones that source their goods from other places, the advice I will give is that they make sure that they insulate their companies so that they don't have these experiences in the future. What do I mean by that? They should look for alternative places, alternate sources of all these raw materials, either within Nigeria, if it is possible, or within African continent. And the good thing is that even this massive supply disruption has created a positive response from Nigerian companies. A lot of local companies, they are now trying to do things that we are earlier depending on overseas countries from, such as face masks, you know, all this PPP that the medical people wear, and so many other things that we're trying to, you know, get alternatives within our country, and that's a good thing. So for companies that source these things from outside, they can start looking inwards, and also some of them, this is an opportunity for them to grow by getting involved in producing such things. We also have I had also mentioned earlier, reduction in consumer spending. It is an emerging issue, but there's always a solution to every problem. What they can do is to try to find out what they can do to bring down their prices. Maybe do some sales, do some real nice customer care marketing. For now, with time, everything will normalize and they can start making their profits one more. But for now, the most important thing is to keep your customers loyal to you so that they will come back slowly after the COVID pandemic. Just as I said earlier, every situation has the good and bad part of it. On the other side, on the flip side of these challenges and emerging issues, we also have new opportunities that have emerged. The world has become a virtual world with a lot of, you know, online communication going on. A lot of new apps have been developed, and it will be well and good for companies to try to use this opportunity at this time to upgrade their IT infrastructure so that they can even curtail some of the expenses that they make, traveling and all that. A lot of meetings can now be held virtually, just as this one that we're having. Then another opportunity that it's prevalent now is the palliative measures that are being brought out by government agencies and institutions. Next slide, please. We have the CBN, which has earmarked 50 billion naira as palliatives for some individuals and companies, SMEs in particular, in order to encourage them to survive and to make sure that they survive this pandemic and continue what they have been doing before. And we also have a special program that the NAFDAC has worked out, whereby it's called the Automated Product Monitoring System. It gives a lot of concessions to SMEs. So I will advise these SMEs to make sure that they take these opportunities to benefit from these palliative measures. We also have some specific ones like import duty to pharmaceutical companies and what have you. I also want to talk about the opportunities that have, interconnectivity that this COVID has opened up. Now countries and companies can now deal with their opposites in other places. They can interconnect with them, they can link up and form partnerships and build collaboration that they will utilize in the future. This also goes for Nigerian SMEs. In conclusion, please, can I have the next slide? In conclusion, which I'll quickly read out because I'm aware that my time is really running out. Can I have the next slide that contains the, in conclusion, it goes without gainsaying that the emerging issues and opportunities thrown up by COVID-19, which inevitably impact the economy, can be adequately addressed and leveraged upon by SMEs, SME proprietors in order to continue to sustain their businesses. New challenges deserve new approaches. It is time to put our thinking caps on, move away from our comfort zones, and change from the old ways we do things. It is time to think outside the box. The world economic order is changing, and all and sundry should strive to adapt and fit into our new reality if they indeed want to continue to run their businesses successfully. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, madam. That was quite explicit. And have been able to tell us about the challenges facing SME.
I hope I worked within the time frame. I was conscious of that all through.
Yes, actually within time. We appreciate that. You've been able to tell us about the challenges facing SMEs before COVID-19. And now we have additional challenges and also opportunities. So you've been able to tell us about the disruption in supply chain management, and also the fact that 25% of goods and services from China have been held up, and we have to look inwards right now, as well as an opportunity for our various SMEs. And also the issue of social distancing, as it affects how you do your business. It's very key, like you have said, because everybody is now health conscious. Thank you so much for this overview that you have laid out for us to look at. And I will use this opportunity to now invite Dr. Anene Johnson Anene to the podium to deliver his own presentation. Kindly unmute Dr. Anene, please. Thank you.
Hello. Yes, Prof, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I'm ready. I hope we're all ready.
Yes, we are fine. We are fine.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to again welcome everybody to this session. I want to thank the very first presenter, Mrs. Nwosu, for a very wonderful presentation. Mine is just to add to what she has said, because she was able to go far deep into the topic. But what I will now do is to add a couple of things to she has presented. and I will start right away. The first presenter has given us in full details the background and the purpose of the topic. I will therefore try to restrict my presentation to the steps that you need to take to be able to effectively manage your business during the COVID-19 and even afterwards. The purpose of every economic activity, especially business concerns, is to run profitably so as to create more wealth for the promoters, that's the owners of the business, the workers, as well as the society. Every business is out to satisfy these three groups of people: the owners, the workers that work there to earn a living, and the society that the business sets out to provide a service to. So, but for any SME to be able to achieve these objectives of providing service to the society and making income for the owners, and then also providing a means of livelihood for the workers, that business needs to do the following things. And these things may not be restricted to just these ones, but these ones are also very important. The promoters must have very good vision. Vision is the key. Before you can start a business, you must have vision. Vision is what will lead you to go into that business. He must have a clear vision and passion. One, you have vision. Two, you have passion for that vision. If you have vision and you don't have passion that will drive it, you will not go far. So you need to have a vision to be able to succeed in business. Then, after the vision, you need that passion, like I have said. Vision will help you start, but you need passion to be able to succeed. Then the next thing you need to do is to formulate a very good business plan. We call it bankable business plan. The reason for this is because you may need funding and you also need direction. So you need, just the way, even if you are a builder, you want to build a house, you won't just go, hello, are you hearing me? So you won't just go and start putting blocks in the soil. You need to draw the plan first and do the cost, and that's the bill of quantities. The same way, if you want to start a business, you need to do a business plan, then do a planning of cost-benefit analysis. Know what it will cost you and do a viability. Make sure that the business you are going into is something that will be profitable. So that is the viability studies that you need to do. All these will be contained in the business plan. And also, you need also to do cost and income projects. They must be clear, because your investors or your financiers will want to look at that. Come up with a good management structure and resource requirements, because you don't just step out without knowing what you need. Then the next thing is the capital. Of course, you need capital. Every venture needs capital. And there are so many areas and so many ways you can use to raise capital. You can either raise capital from your own savings or from friends and relations. But if that is not enough, that can form your starting point, your equity capital. But if that is not enough, you may have to now, with that your good business plan, approach agencies like the financial institutions for loan. You can approach government agencies like SMIDAN, like CBN, like NISAL, that the first speaker mentioned about. You can approach them for support, either as loan or as grant. So you need all this to be able to start. And we know that government has a lot of palliative schemes that they have put in place to support SMEs now, because everybody is very conscious of the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic has dealt a very heavy blow on businesses. So the government at various levels, both at the state and the federal levels, are very willing to give a support to deserving business SME operators. So you can consider taking advantage of that. We just heard about, we know about the billions of naira that has been set aside to fund SMEs, you know, so every SME operator should make efforts to take advantage of that, to raise capital, either for you to start up or for you to be able to expand your business. I know also that in case you're having difficulty coming up with this business plan, because your business plan must really be convincing enough. Nobody will just want to throw money at you. The best center is there to help you out with coming up with a business plan. And also we have a couple of EDI, we call them Enterprise Development Institutions, already accredited and approved by the CBN and NISA to help you in formulating business plan, processing your applications with CBN and NISA, and a whole lot of other areas of assistance. So if you liaise with the best center, they will be able to guide you very well. And then after you have come up with the business plan and you have been able to raise your funding, the next thing is for you to put together a good workforce, because you cannot do it alone. You need to source the right set of workers who will share your vision and help you. You need a good workforce. Please, can we have the next slide? The workforce you need will help you to, drive your vision. So you need the right set of people that will share your vision. They need to share your vision, because if they don't share your vision, there may be a clog in your wheel of progress. So you need to source your workforce right, make sure that you get the right set of people to work with you. And like I have said, you cannot do it alone, because no tree can make a forest. But you must be mindful of the fact that you need the right set of workers for you to be able to make good progress. Then we talk about training. After you have assembled your workers, you need to start training. Train them on your vision. Train them on your, modus of operation, Train them on acquiring new skills. These days, we know that the old order of doing things cannot work anymore, especially with the restrictions of movement, restrictions in the area of interactions, social distancing, and the rest brought about by the COVID pandemic. So we need to be trained on new approaches to business. We need to be trained on new technologies, new ICT deployment techniques. So you need training at every stage of the progress of the business. So training is very key. We need to acquire skills. So after training, then you see that the workers will be able to perform better. Then the next one is you have to inculcate the habit of good resource management. We know that the resources available now are not enough, they are very scarce. And despite government's efforts to support SMEs, they can do little, or they can't do much, let me put it that way. Especially given the fact that Nigeria is a monolithic economy, depending on oil for the major part of our gross national domestic product, GDP. Now, oil that was budgeted for $65 per barrel is now selling for around $20 per barrel. And you can now see that government doesn't have enough funds at its disposal to help people the way they would have loved to do. So what we need to do is the little resources that we have to manage them well. We need to manage the resources well. Even those that are private sector operators are not finding it easy. We know that the inflation rate in this country has risen to 12.7%. It's eroding the value of the little capital that we have in our hands. So we need to manage the resources we have very well. This is not the right time to start buying expensive things. You need also to choose where you spend your money. So any expenditure that does not have a direct impact on your income flow should not be acquired. So what you need to spend more money on is on technology, on improving, the way you discharge your functions, and on training. This is not the right time to change your furniture or buy new cars or move into a bigger office. No, reduce your cost, your overhead costs, and make efforts to improve on your, income stream. You can spend more money on marketing, on research and market development, but not on major capital expenditures. Then the next one is you have to be, consistent, perseverance and resilience. You have to be, strong. Find out that you will have a lot of difficulties, as you encounter those difficulties, you don't need to be thrown overboard. You need to know that the business environment, the world over, in particular in Nigeria, is not a bed of roses. So you cannot expect it to be rosy at all times. So when you encounter difficulties, you don't need to quit. Remember always that quitters don't win. So for you to win, you need to be consistent with your efforts and push your vision on. So the next one again, after this is the area of marketing strategy. If you produce your goods and services, you need to find markets, be able to offload it and get it across to those that need what you are producing. The service you are generating or the goods you are producing, some people have need for them. That's the reason you went into the business at the first place, because there's a need, there's a gap that you want to fill. But you need to enhance your marketing strategies, to go beyond your immediate environment, So with this COVID pandemic again, marketing, just local marketing or traditional marketing strategies are not good enough these days. So you need to make sure that you explore the opportunities presented by online marketing. You have to deploy ICT. And that is why I continue to emphasize on training, because you need to be well trained to be able to do this and be able to get your goods and services beyond your immediate market through the ICT applications. The next one is integrity. No matter how hard working you may be, and no matter how intelligent you may be, if you don't have integrity, you cannot go far. Somebody may help you and lift you up, give you the capital that you need, give you the guidance, and you go up the ladder. But you need integrity to be able to keep staying up. If you don't have integrity, you lose everything. So I want to, because that is one major problem with starters. You know, it's not just to continue to complain. What about you? Can people hold you to your words? Can people do things with you, sign agreements with you, or even verbal agreements with you, and go home and sleep, knowing that you will deliver, without you coming up with stories and excuses? Once you have committed yourself to anything, make sure you deliver on that commitment. The next is attitude, your attitude. There's this popular saying that your attitude will determine your altitude. If you have a very bad attitude, people will not want to deal with you. Even your friends will run away. You lose your friends. You lose your customers. You lose your suppliers. You lose your staff if you are not handling or managing them well. So you must have control of your emotions. You must have in check your attitude, the way you talk to people, the way you relate to people, with people, the way you do your things, you know. So good human relationship with your customers, clients, suppliers, workers, and associates must be good if you want to retain them. Then after that, we go to the final charge. Like I have said, I'm very conscious of the time, and apart from these ones, there are several others, but time will not permit us to go into all that in details. But if you're able to really take advantage of this and apply them in your business, both now and in preparation for the COVID-19 end of the business, you will still make your progress. Now, finally, I will want to tell you that this COVID-19 has changed greatly our way of doing things. And some businesses will become irrelevant after this pandemic, whether you like it or not. Some people will go out of business because their businesses will become irrelevant, especially those that are stuck with their old ways of doing things. So what do we now need to do so that we can still be in business, so that we will not be driven out of business after this COVID-19 pandemic? We need to begin to think of either diversifying. You know, we can diversify aside deploying ICT to better the ones that we are doing. We also need to look inwards and outwards and see other opportunities. There are so many opportunities in agriculture. There are so many opportunities in food processing, packaging, and the rest. There are so many opportunities in ICT, in the health industry. I can tell you that a lot of people are still making money, even now. My friend that sells health-related equipment and products was telling me that now, because of pressures on people, that they sell more now than before the COVID. Can you beat that? When people are complaining, he's smiling to the bank on a regular basis. Why? Because he is in the right business. Now people are getting more hypertensive due to pressures. People are now more conscious of their time and their, their health. People exercise more now. People are now more used to buying drugs, and people now eat well, they feed well. So you cannot go wrong with health, agri, and ICT related businesses. So whatever that you are doing, begin to also think either going into that or adding that to your portfolio. Then finally, if you look at the drawing at the end, this drawing, if you look at it very well, it is a pencil. It's in 3 segments. The first segment is a pencil, sharpened pencil. You read what is there. Sometimes in life, everything goes smoothly. Not now, before. Things might have been going smoothly for you or for some people. Then you now see the second one, the second segment, and sometimes the unexpected happens. Like now, I'm sure nobody expected this COVID-19 to happen. Nobody expected businesses to go down. Even the world, even the best economists, the best planners couldn't have fathomed what is happening. That's why you see the all over the world, the stock markets going down, big businesses, viable businesses going down. Now, that is why you can see that the pencil got broken. That is the major challenge, the major encounter that businesses are facing now due to this COVID-19. Then that now brings us back to what we are discussing. What then do we do with this COVID-19 for us to be able to succeed? And even after that, for us to be able to, gather ourselves, put ourselves together and forge ahead. That is the last part of it. You can now see the important thing is knowing how to turn problems into opportunities. That is the whole essence of this discussion. Now, if you look at the pencil, the three segments, the first one, things were going smoothly for everybody. Then the second one, the unexpected happened. The pencil or the businesses got broken and shattered. Some people gave up. People resigned to fate. But the few people, like we are trying to make you to be one of those few people, the few people that are wise and intelligent, instead of giving up like the rest of the people. If you look at the last pencil, the last segment, can you see that the two pieces were sharpened again? The first one at one end and the other one at two ends. Meaning that people were able to even create more opportunities from this COVID-19. The beginning, when things were going well, everybody was writing with just one pencil. You can see the sharp end is just one, the first segment. Suddenly it broke at the second segment. Then the third segment, which is the post-COVID-19, is that people now created more opportunities, sharpened one end and sharpened the other end. They can now write with three ends. You understand? Meaning that they were able to create more opportunities. They were able to take advantage of the opportunities created by this COVID-19. Because I tell you, like I have said, opportunities in agriculture, opportunities in ICT, opportunities in health, opportunities in so many other things, in manufacturing, in marketing, in education, so many. So it is now for us to decide on which path to be. Either to be on the part of those that now felt that the whole thing has scattered and we are helpless and we now continue to complain and blame the government, or those that will be on the positive side that will now pick those broken pencil ends and sharpen them and now begin to forge ahead, exploring the various other opportunities the pandemic has presented. Having said this, I want to encourage you to be part of these positive thinking ones. Thank you very much. Thank you. Prof, I'm done, except if you want.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Please stand by to answer some of the questions that will be asked of you. I must say that you've done a very good job in explaining to us what to do. And your analogy of the soul is interesting. And definitely I personally shall use it somewhere else with your permission. You have told us how we can turn problems into opportunities definitely that businesses will not be the same again. And the need for people to understand that we can no longer ignore technology. You have also told us we need to retrain ourselves to take advantage of the opportunities. And I believe that one of the ways of training ourselves is by joining with us at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce Best Center for our training programs, most of which are free. At this stage, I will be asking Tinuke to come on. I'm sure you must have collated the questions from our eager participants. Tinuke, can we have the questions for the presenters, please? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. A very big thank you to Mrs. Nwosu and Dr. Anene. Thank you for your presentation. So a question for Mrs. Nwosu. Franklin Nduku is asking if you can give more insight into the CBM package, especially the terms and conditions. Then, so that's the only question for Mrs. Nwosu here. Other questions are for Dr. Anene.
Can you repeat the question, please? Can you repeat the question for Mrs. Nwosu?
She should give more insight into the CBM package for the businesses, especially the terms and conditions. Okay, do you get that?
Yes, got it. But I think if the Director General of Abuja Chamber of Commerce, Victoria, is online, she should please respond to that question, because I am aware she has quite a detailed explanation for us. Is Victoria online?
Yes, sir, she's online.
Okay, so please, these questions for Dr. Anene, please, and Dr. Anene will respond immediately after you ask those questions. Thank you.
Okay. DG, we are waiting for the answer, for your response to the question.
So please ask Dr. Anene for his own questions. Then DG will prepare to answer that.
Okay.
CBN.
Okay, Dr. Anene.
Prof, I can help out a bit on that question, if you don't mind.
Tinuka, please ask Dr. Anene for his question, and then he can add that to it when responding.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, there's a question on the process of developing a business plan by Best Center, if it's for free. I think I will take that now. Developing the business plan at the Best Center is not free, it's as a fee. So depending on where the purpose of the business plan or the target place you are taking it to. And there's a question, someone is asking that he runs a transit business for interstate.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
How can I change problem to an opportunity, as you illustrate with the pencil diagram? Also, let me read the second question and answer both together. As SMEs are the backbone of any economy, they should be supported. Access to market is a crucial challenge. How are government agencies assisting the SMEs in this regard?
Okay. Okay. Yes. Tinuka, please, can you ask the first question again? I didn't quite get it. The first one you asked me.
Okay. Okay. The person is asking that he runs an interstate transport business.
Okay.
So, and in this period of COVID-19, how can he use the illustration of the broken pencil that you use? How can he change the problem he's having right now to an opportunity?
Okay, yes. I will take that. Now, the one, let me answer the first, add something to the Mrs. Mosu's question. For the CBN palliative, is normally not a grant, it's a loan. It's a loan that is being administered on behalf of CBN by Nisal Microfinance Bank. And over 50 billion has been set aside for this CBN Nisal COVID-19 support loan. And people are expected to apply. You just show how this COVID-19 has affected your business in an adverse way. Once you're able to show that by your write-ups and the rest, you will be given the loan. It varies from 3 million to 25 million naira. You have household, you have SME, you have a SME plus. So it depends on how much you want to apply for. And the interest is 5% for the first 1 year. That's because it is expected that this COVID will last for about 1 year. And thereafter, 9%, which has always been their interest rate. So the loan normally is for 3 years. You enjoy 1 year moratorium and you now enjoy the loan for the remaining part of the period. So that is that. And one of the conditions is that you have to have a bankable business plan. You don't need collateral these days. You don't need collateral. You just need to submit. Even they have waived for the COVID, they have a whole lot of things. What you need mainly is your audited account for the period you have done business, then with the write-ups. And like I have said, ACCI Center will be in the best position, in a very good position to help you do the packaging. But if you can do that on your own, you just visit their website.
Can I add to that?
And fill your forms. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
can I finish? Let me go to my question, then after I can take over.
On the same issue. I mentioned it during my presentation. Okay, has brought out 50 billion for that purpose for individuals and SMEs. The person that is interested, all he has to do is to go and make contact with CBN, get their form and find out what the requirements are and ensure that he fulfills it. If it's something that he needs to do some specialized, produce some specialized documents, he will not get in touch with either ACCI, our section that deals with such things, or any other professional that is relevant to ensure that he meets with their requirements and, fulfills whatever requirement they expect of him in order to benefit. I think that is the answer to that. Thank you.
Yes, in addition, madam, it's also very important for everybody to know that the CBN policy has also accommodated the chambers of commerce. So you can also visit the chambers of commerce in your locality.
Hello, can you hear me?
You can visit the commerce in your locality for them to guarantee you as part of the prerequisites for you to be able to access the palliative from the central bank. Dr. Nene, am I correct?
Yes, you are very correct. So, normally they require collateral, but we know that so many of these SMEs may not have collateral security. So if you belong to any chamber of commerce, you can get to them. NACIMA has been able to get a commitment from CBN so that the various chamber members, the various city chambers can recommend and guarantee their members. So it has made it much easier for members of the various chambers. So if you don't belong to any chamber, this is the right time for you to join any city chamber wherever you are. Then, I mean city chambers in Nigeria, not outside the country, because I understand that some people are participating in this program from outside the country. Now I go straight to my question. The person that said he's into transport business, how can he take advantage of this, you know, the COVID-19 opportunities for his business? One is that it's affecting you, not just you, but every other transport company. Every other transport company is also affected. So what you need to do is to now think inwards. What are those things that others are doing that you can now do better? What are the things that you can introduce? What are the things that you can introduce? Yes, we know that there's a restriction on interstate movements now, but it's not going to be forever. And I can tell you, when the interstate starts happening, when they lift the ban, it will not be business as usual. And those who have taken this period to really reflect on better ways of doing business will now come out better, just like those that now have been able to sharpen their pencils and write with both ends. Some of the things or the innovations that you can introduce may be to introduce courier services within your operations. You can also introduce since you said you have buses, you can also begin to do online advertisements. Begin to engage people to help you with adverts. Like I know that a lot of people are into various platforms and groups. Like the people that are doing courier, they keep sending me mails and WhatsApp notices, bulk SMS, advertising their products. If you check most of these Chinese companies, they advertise even in the night. So adverts and publicity is key. And you can come up with some other innovations. You know, I know of a company that has started running adverts for companies in their buses. They introduced these television screens, and they run adverts for people, because people will sit in a bus for upward of 8 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, some 13 hours, assuming you are going to Lagos or you are traveling from here to Maiduguri. You find out that you sit in the confines of that bus for about several hours. So if an advert, for example, of ShopRite is running, people will be forced to watch it over and over and over. So if you're able to get companies to run such adverts with your transport company in your vehicles, you see that you make some extra money apart from the transport fares. So we need to look into that. I don't know if that has addressed the question. Tinuke, I don't know if you can refresh me on the second question.
Can I also add to that, Dr. Nene, about the transporter? He can also look, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, Temi Tobe?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I can hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to say that the transporter can also look inwards to find out areas where he can cut some of his expenses. You know, all these fanciful things that we do from time to time and all that. This is not, just as Dr. Nene has said, and I had said earlier than this is not the time for it. He can look inwards and find out areas of his operation where he can cut down expenses. That will also go a long way in helping him, apart from looking for extra sources of income, as already mentioned. Thank you.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. Okay, Dr. Anini, there are a few questions to you too. One, how can one protect their business plan from theft if they decide to share with organization in search of investors or funds?
Anyway, what you know, the other time I presented paper, somebody still raised that fear.
Yes.
You know, there's no risk, there's no business without risk. Business itself, in fact, life itself is full of risk. Even if you are eating, you stand the risk of choking or swallowing bone. Will you, because of fear of swallowing bone, then you will not eat? So if you just keep guarding the thing jealously, you don't want somebody to steal your ideas, then you will never, do business. Or you keep, you are avert to taking risk. You don't want to lose money at all, but you want to make money. So what you should do is to take calculated risks. And I can tell you, there's nothing that is new under the sun. That business, you think that you are the only person that has the idea. Some other person may already be doing it somewhere else, or even be doing it within your neighborhood, but in a different way. So if they are more, it's just like you are afraid, you don't want to, the doctor, you don't want anybody to know your problem. And you are sick, you don't want to go to the doctor so that he will not know that you are suffering from this ailment. It's not true. You must come out. The only thing you need to do is to know who and who to share with. We are not saying that you put it in the internet for everybody to access. You forward it to specific people that you need assistance from. There's no way you will need money from government or you need a loan from bank that you won't need to send that business plan. So you have to. And what you now need to do is, once you submit it, you follow up aggressively to make sure that you get results. That is the answer to the question.
Okay, thank you, sir. Going forward, SMEs are the backbone of any economy. They should be supported. Access to market is a crucial challenge. How are government agencies assisting SMEs in this regard? Dr. Owusu, Dr. Anene, that question is also for you.
Okay, thank you very much. I agree that SME is the backbone for everybody, for every country, The issue is that we also need to do our own bit. We need to do our own. We cannot sit and fold our hands waiting for government or other people to do our part. We need to do our part. That is one. And I know that a lot of people, I agree that a lot of people may have done their part in the past. And those that are supposed to support them, either the government, the financial institutions, or even friends and relations, have failed them. That is part of life. You don't need to give up and now continue to grumble and complain. What you need to do is you continue to forge ahead, continue to push. If you push, every door that is closed does not mean that it is locked. If you push harder, that door will open. So now coming to the issue of market, I know that, for example, government agencies like Nigerian Export Promotions Commission, NEPC, is doing a lot to create markets for made in Nigeria products. I know they are doing that. Even Smedan is doing a lot. They can connect you, they can create markets. There are some platforms and marketing platforms online that you can leverage on. And I will tell you that even Nigeria is a huge market. Nigeria is big enough. Once you have taken the pains to produce good quality products, because sometimes our people will not put in that extra effort to make sure that the product or the service is well delivered. And they just want people to patronize them. Put in just a little extra effort to get a good quality, and also in terms of packaging. You know, so if you're able to do that, make the product a bit more attractive, make it neat and clean, let it be hygienic, like those that are into food industry. You know, if it's health, let it, you won't have to sell things that will be a kind of toxic to the body. So make sure that you do your own bit well. Don't just, money does not fall from heaven. You need that extra effort to give the people what will be of good service to them, what will attend to their needs, you know. And the market, once you start, you see the market will begin to even look for you. Because if you are consistent with your quality and you are honest, you see people will begin to even refer people to you. I have a tailor that I have sent tens of people to. I have a dry cleaner, my dry cleaner. The former person kept disappointing. Sometimes he will tell you, come on, your clothes will be ready tomorrow. 2 weeks is still full of stories. But these days, now the person I'm using presently, he doesn't disappoint. And he's smiling to the bank all the time. That is what you get for doing your things with diligence. So whatever that you find your hands doing, do it diligently. Put in extra effort to make sure that you satisfy your customers. And I assure you that you will not lack customers and patronage. Thank you very much. But government is doing some things. NIPC is doing things. NEPC, SMIDAN, even several of them, even Abuja Enterprise Agency, you know, a lot of marketing online. Even the ACCI, the Best Center, can help you with online marketing because we have some platforms that we use. So I want to thank you for the question. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nene.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma. Hello, ma.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. I wanted to add to all that Dr. Nene has said. That is one good reason. This marketing thing that the man talked about is one good reason to join the chambers because we have a lot of interactions with all these agencies that he mentioned. We also have our own system. And the main object of the chamber is to help the members to build their businesses. So he will be exposed to a lot of opportunities, including B&B meetings when things get back to normal, where we have investors coming from all over the world to come and showcase what they have in stock and looking for partnerships from people doing similar businesses in Nigeria. And I also want to stress the issue of branding that I talked about. Dr. Nene also mentioned it. Let him make sure that he does the services he provides, that he does it to such an extent and such a quality that he will stand out among his competitors. That is very, very important because marketing is about selling your product to people, your product or services, but you have to get it to such an extent that whoever you give service to today will always want to come back to you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, ma. Dr. Nene, to you again. How can our SME build a new sustainable digital business structure? How can our SME build a new sustainable digital business structure in preparation toward post-COVID-19 economy?
Okay, sustainable business structure. Everything we are talking about these days is online. Online, deploy ICT. Whatever that you want to do that is not ICT based, that you are not taking advantage of the opportunities provided by the ICT, then you are not there yet. So whatever business structure or sustainable business structure or whatever that you are talking about, it has to start with deploying ICT to your operations. In terms of marketing, in terms of whatever that you wish to do, so that you'll be able to learn how to do your things in a better way, in a more cost-effective manner, save more time, and reach out to more or greater market. We know that time is a resource that we cannot replenish. If it's money, for example, if you lose money, somebody can give you another money. But time, once you keep losing time, you will have a problem. So ICT will help you to do things more efficiently. You know, if you were spending 2 hours to do a particular thing, you find out that you may spend just 30 minutes and you get better results. So whatever that we are going to do from now onwards, let us accommodate, let us do a budget within our limited resources. We must budget for automation, for ICT deployment into our business operations.
Okay.
I don't know whether that addressed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So thank you very much. That answered it.
There is another question on hospitality business. What advice can you give to hospitality business hotels as they are presently closed since the lockdown started?
Okay, for hospitality business, if you know about is it Airbnb? Airbnb is just like Uber. It's like Uber. You know, Uber doesn't have one car. It's like Uber, it's like Taxify that is now Bolt. They don't have fleet of cars, but they are into business of transportation more than even those that have cars. The same way, if you are a hotel operator or hospitality industry practitioner, what you can do is to register with that Airbnb, just like registering with Uber. As you run your business locally, they will also be helping to be directing to you customers from all over the world. Because like quite often when I want to travel abroad or even to Lagos, I can just open open their platform, and you can select the hotels that you want and do your booking and pay them. The owner of the hotel gets his money. So that is what we are talking about online business. So if we are just gone are the days when you just print flyers and people are going to multi-parks sharing flyers or going to churches or mosques or public places to help you share flyers. Even if you are doing that, that is local marketing. But you can still post your flyers online. You know, post it, get to some blogs that maintain or command some good traffic, and post your pictures there, pictures of the business you do. Develop a good website that will be attractive to people, that people will like to visit. Get people to, as you service people, as you service your customers, let them get something like a way of getting their feedback. Let them make comments about your services so that you'll be posting it to your website. And people will now see comments, how satisfactory your business or your services are. what people who have patronized you are saying. In every business, you need to leverage on repeat patronage. That is why it is very important that anybody you do business with, that you try to satisfy that person so that the person can drop a comment, you know. So for somebody in the hospitality industry, you need to still explore ICT. That is the key, and that is the way to go. And you register with certain platforms, you know, like this Airbnb. You just upload your pictures, your rooms, your services with the prices. It's when they say that they collect a token, it will reduce your burden of running adverts because they will be advertising for you. Once you key in that you want to come to Abuja, and they will ask you the hotel that you need, the range, and you mention your budget, they will upload for you all the hotels that are within Abuja that will go for that range. So you need to really take advantage of that and other opportunities presented by the world of ICT these days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Anene. Because of our time, we are going to take the last question.
Sorry, Tinu, can you repeat the first
Someone
question?
who wants to acquire a skill but needed funds to undergo the training. Is such person, someone wants to acquire a skill but needed funds to undergo a training for the skill.
Yes.
So he's now asking if such person also required to make a plan, a business plan.
Yes.
And how will the person access funds for such?
I don't think that the skill we are talking about is a high-profile skill. Such skills are not so expensive. Such skills are skills that you can pay just very little to acquire. You know, I know that some of the trainings that the Best Center offers go for between 10 to 15 to 20 to 25,000, and you get what you want. And if you genuinely need help to further develop yourself, I don't think that getting that kind of assistance from relations, from friends, will be a problem. Because you really cannot give what you don't have. You need those skills to be able to move your business forward. And for you to get somebody to invest in you, invest in your business, you need to talk intelligently. You need to tell the person, show the person what you are going to do with the money. You need to convince the person that you can manage the money well. That is where the skill comes in. That is where the business plan comes in. And again, some young people tend to be greedy. If you don't have money, if you don't have the money, assuming you have the skill, you have the knowledge, but you don't have the money, it's not enough just to be going around begging people to help you. You can take on partnerships with people. You can meet that man that has money. Instead of asking him to help you, to give you money, you can ask him to invest in this your program, in this your idea. And you manage it, you run it, and you become partners. But what will you see these days is, I beg, make you help me, give me money. So for you to raise an APT, take-off fund, you may look at getting partners. You know, partnership. Somebody was telling me that the owner of Facebook started Facebook with his friend. The owner of Google started Google with his friend. The owner of Amazon, started it with his friend. You, what business have you started with your friend? Or is it just to sit around, play, drink, gossip? You need to maintain quality friendship, quality relationship. And that man, that big man that you know, that relation, that friend, that mentor that you know, if you go, you present it in two ways. If he wants to help you, let him help you. But he can also invest in the business and take a share out of the business, and you run it. Not you just wanting to own everything. Another example I want to give you, when I was trying to start a business, my friend told me that he was selling building materials, nails, and the likes. And one Indian that was supplying him the products, nails, visited Nigeria, and they invited him out to dinner. Now, because he was doing well and he was paying each time he bought things on credit from the Indian was satisfied with him and now asked him, he said he brought out a napkin, table napkin, and drew one small circle and drew another big circle, big one, and asked him, will you like to own 100% of this small circle which represents the cake? Or will you prefer to have 30% of the big cake? He quickly told him that he will prefer to have 30% of the big cake. Then the man gave him a handshake and told him that he was not thinking like most black people. That most black people will want to settle for the small one and own it. Is my business, it's my business. And what that man did was, instead of him just selling nails and wheelbarrow, he injected millions of naira into his business to the extent that they started selling iron rods. And today they have a factory that produces nails and spanners and other small tools that even if the man had given him 10%, that he would have accepted, because 10% is bigger than 100% of the small cake that he was managing on his own before. So what I'm saying in effect is that let us have a broad mind. Let us, avoid trying to be selfish, trying to be, it must be my own. It's my idea. I must own it. I must run it. Let us open up and try to bring in some other people that can even add their ideas to our own. Two good heads, they said, are better than one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Anene. Two good heads are better than one. Definitely, I agree with you, sir. Well, I think we've learned a lot from you, as well as from Madame. But let me just quickly reiterate what you have said, that we should think big. There's a need to be trusted, and we should try not to be selfish. We should think out of the box. Now is the time to think differently from the way we used to think and do business differently. Just before Tinuke rounds up, let me use this opportunity to thank our presenters. You've done very well, and definitely we'll be asking you to come again some other time to take us on other topics, and so that we can learn from your experience. But it's very important as well to also talk about what I've taken out from this particular session. Apparently, there is a need for us to have a session on how to create your business plan. We know we do charge some minimal administrative fee in helping you at the Chamber of Commerce. But that fee is quite necessary when you understand how and what a chamber of commerce actually has, or what a business plan comprises of. For some that you have to do feasibility, depending on the kind of business plan, you definitely will need.
Okay, I think he just went off. So we want to say a very big thank you to Dr. Anene and Barrister Nwosu. Thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the great presentation.
That was a technical hitch. I apologize.
All our participants. Thank you for participating.
Hello?
Thank you for being part of the program.
Okay.
You're back. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm back. Just a quick one before we round off. Let me quickly. Hello?
Yes,
Can you hear
can
me?
hear you.
Yes.
Okay, let me just quickly say that we'll be having another session that's going to be take care of the business plan issue. It's very important that you should look out for that. And also, I need to inform you that this webinar is the 16th episode of the Best Center webinars. And we have improved in our e-learning platform. We have improved in our e-learning platform, and you will agree with me that this format for disseminating knowledge is now part of the new norm. Going forward, we at the Best Center have also launched our e-learning platform, and I will enjoin you to please try to check it out by checking our
Hello? Okay. So you can access our e-learning platform through our website, www.accibestcenter.com. Most of the courses there are also free, and some of the recordings from our previous webinars are also accessible there. We also enjoin everyone to follow us on our social media channels at ACCI Best Center. That way you can always be in copy on all our activities, and we can also get adequate and up-to-date information from us. So today is Friday. Next week we'll be coming back your way. And this time around, we are looking into the financial aspect of an SME, financial management. The class will be coming up on Tuesday, 26th of May 2020, and the time is 2 p.m. So we also look forward to have you join us on finance management for small businesses during and after COVID-19. So we want to say thank you to all the participants, our panelists. We say thank you to our moderator, Prof. We say thank you. Thank you for being part of today, and we hope to see you next week. So as we continue in this period, let's keep to all the safety rules. If we have to go out, let's wear our face masks, wash our hands with soap and water, and also let's ensure that we keep physical and social distancing while we keep staying safe. Thank you very much. See you next time.
You know, my father, that is a daddy doctor, Osage, and I can't believe I'm saying this.